for me, they connect because at their most basic level, it seems to me that horror and religion are intimately bound up with exactly the same kind of questions. If many of us who are religious studies scholars believe that religion finds its ultimate origin in the contemplation of death, and what happens when we die, and what are the stories we tell about that, and the rituals we make about that. And horror is concerned with exactly those kinds of things, like especially when we die, when we die badly and maybe don't remain dead. We don't get to go on to whatever. And in terms of, specific, I'll give you one specific example of the way these interact is the 1931 film King Kong. Because most people think of, the Empire State Building and biplanes and, and Fay Ray. And, but what they miss is this really important scene at the very beginning where they first show up on the island and the whole thing is imbued with it's about human sacrifice. And human sacrifice places the body in ritual position in a way that no other sort of act does, and it's religion's dirty little secret. So that's the way I start off by seeing it, is they ask the same questions.
Well, according to Doug Cowan and his books on religion and horror, it comes down to fear, right? What do we fear? We fear death. We fear the unknown. What's in the dark? What is out there that we don't see? Humans don't like uncertainty. So it's religion's about fear, right? Fear of being bad, fear of what happens if you're bad, fear of what happens when you die. And then horror is also about fear. As Scott Poole talks about monsters representing certain things, right, Scott? The threats. So it's a way to cope, I think, and then it's a way to religion is a way to cope with the supernatural by using the supernatural, if you really think about it in meta terms.
I'm tempted just to say that Doug and Erika are absolutely right. I would add, just kind of building on their comments, thinking about what they both said about religion, horror, and the contemplation of death. I think that in the last 100 years, in particular, religion, horror has really been a way to interrogate violence and to talk about violence to the body. This is, of course, a concern of religion as well. And so I do think that it is about death. I think that the only way I would take it a bit further is that both in different ways deal with violent death. This came together for me, I think, in an interesting way in some of the discussions around the 2004 film, Passion of the Christ. There was a discussion of, should this be read as a slasher film because of the amount of gore, the amount of blood spilled, the fascination with violence being done to the body. I don't think so much just in terms of ticking off the tropes of what the slasher film means. But I would say that, we have there an example of the dark supernatural as a way to think about the traumatic nature of violence. So this is where I see them coming together.